I've realized that as we move forward in our business, in our creative journey, we will need very, very strong reasons to stay here. Everything around us will make us want to give up. It will fill our head with doubts. It will make us feel like, this is not for us. We are not good enough. But when this deeper meaning and higher purpose comes together, it will remind us that this creative life is bigger than us ourselves. It will make our sacrifices worthwhile. It will make our decision making stronger and also our ability to navigate tough times much more easily. This is your host, Dyutama, but you can call me DJ. And I love to inspire food photographers to dream. I spent 15 years as an architect studying buildings and constructing hospitals before taking the biggest leap of faith of my life, which was setting up a food styling and food photography business right from scratch. If you're a dreamer like me, wanting to start a new photography business or grow your existing food photography business, jump right into a world where I share practical, actionable strategies to improve your photography skills, to work with clients, make more money, all with a fearless mindset. This is the My Food Lens podcast, and we take you one step closer to your dreams. So let's go. Happy New Year! All right, so here's a very, very warm welcome to you in 2024 on the My Food Lens podcast. How are you feeling? I'm feeling very refreshed. I'm back from a holiday in New Zealand, and I will not lie that it was a very, very welcome holiday. We saw the mountains, we were in the snow, we saw glaciers, lots of sheep, and we ate really well. So that's not a surprise, right? It was actually our first such holiday with our daughter, our little daughter, and it was a long travel and everything. And we were a bit nervous, but everything went well. And it was very welcome because 2023 was a bit of a tough year for all of us. I mean, it was especially for me on the personal front. And because of everything that was changing and there was so much going on the personal front that it was a bit tough on my professional front as well. But that's a story for another time. We are feeling it. We are in 2024. This year is going to be great. And even if it's not, we don't know, right? What if it is? So I want to start this year with something that no one talks about in food photography. And it is something that we all need to understand, discover, and unleash inside of us. It's actually this higher feeling. It is that idea that under all our actions in food photography, there needs to be a higher feeling. There's something bigger than us that makes our sacrifices, our decisions, and our tough times much easier. And what is that action? What is that higher feeling? We are going to talk about that today because no one ever talks about this. But hello, we are not like everyone, so we are going to talk about it. And before you decide that, I don't want to talk about it, this is not for me, I strongly, strongly urge you to listen to it because this actually might open a very different way of thinking for you that you may have never considered. I mean, that's exactly what happened to me. I was a very closed person. And when I went and this happened to me, it was a complete revelation. And I have never looked back. It's impacted me so strongly that I'm here and I want to share it with you. So I'll tell you more about how that happened to me and what changed my life. I'll share that more as we move forward in this episode. So today we are really going to talk about finding that higher purpose in food photography. Okay. Don't snooze. Don't lose me. All right. It's going to be a bit different than all our conversations we have ever had. But the new year is the perfect time to have this conversation because trust me, it is life-changing. All right. So today I want to talk about finding that higher purpose in food photography. But why should we even talk about this higher purpose? Why should we even have a higher purpose? Or why should we even want to make food photography more meaningful. We love what we do, we help clients, we have a steady business. So, what does higher purpose even mean? I mean, why do we even need a higher purpose, right? So, let me tell you why. We need a higher purpose because we are humans, because we have a heart, we have feelings, we have emotions. And no matter how disconnected we are with ourselves sometimes, can you just tell me what is the one thing that almost all humans strive for? What is the one thing that everyone is seeking? What is it? Think about it for just a second. Happiness. It's happiness. Everyone is seeking happiness in life in many different ways. What brings us most happiness is, through many different things. Everyone feels happy through many different mediums. But I have never ever met a single human being. I swear to God, I have never ever met a single human being who didn't feel happy after helping someone else. Helping others brings us that kind of happiness that literally speaks to our soul, no matter what kind of a human being we are. It connects us to every little bit of our emotional and our physical being. And that happiness makes us glow from inside, right? It makes us swell. It gives us that higher power, that feeling of making someone else's life better. Whether we accept it or not, whether we realize it or not, helping someone else is the highest form of happiness that we can bring into our lives. Now, this is only one part of it. The other part of it is that, we're talking about food photography. Like, why should we even care about this in food photography? What's the connection? What talking about, DJ? What's up with you? I'm sure you have all those thoughts going on, but let me go on and tell you. Let me explain. I think that we as food photographers should care about this more than anyone else. Because as creative as we are, as passionate as we are, as much as we love what we do, we also keep a little secret inside us. And that secret is our insecurity of being photographers or being just photographers. You know how much I struggled. You know my story. You know how much I struggled to call myself a photographer after being an architect for so many years, right? I used to design hospitals and cancer centers, and I used to research on how to construct health facilities and create a positive environment for those who were suffering. And what did I switch to? I switched to taking photos of food. Like, can you even imagine how much I struggled trying to understand why I do what I do, apart from the fact that I just love what I do? I mean, it might be a bit unpleasant, but it's the truth. The love with which we do what we do isn't always enough. It's not big enough. It's not long term. That love with which we do what we do needs reinforcement. You're not going to like what I'm saying. Maybe it's a bit uncomfortable. Sit through it, take a sip of your tea, take a sip of water, but really, really be with me on this. All right. Stay with me on this. The love with which we do what we do isn't always enough. It's not long term. That love needs reinforcement. All right. So I was speaking to a new entrepreneur. I was speaking to another food photographer. She started her food photography journey. I think last year her business took off and she still had a full-time corporate job. So even though her business took off brilliantly, she was so nervous about going in full time because of the perception of how photography is not really a serious profession. But we need to answer that insecurity within us. And it's not just about answering that insecurity within us or being able to make a case for this, but think about food photography. Think about this for a minute. What if our photography could change lives? What if it could feed 5 children? What if it could bring self-confidence to a single mom? What if it could put a roof over someone's head? Do you think that food photography would not be considered serious enough then? I mean, if you have any doubts that photography is not serious enough, not powerful enough to do so, please let me just stop you right there. Let me just say that as a food photographer, you have the power to serve a higher purpose, a higher role in this world. You have tremendous power, and tremendous power is like skyrocketing tremendous power to change someone's life just by being a food photographer. And when you're able to change someone's life, what do you get? Money? No. you know, you get the one thing that you're seeking your whole life, my friend: happiness, a sense of purpose, and a feeling of I'm bigger than what the world perceives me to be. That is the reinforcement I'm talking about, boss. Our love and passion for photography needs this level of solid reinforcement, which is way beyond client projects and business success and learning how to take moody photos. It is about making a difference in the world through food photography. I know I'm taking a while to get to, how you find that purpose. And if you're thinking that, she's just going round and round about it, well, let me tell you that if you think this isn't something that is your thing, really, if you're not looking for that higher purpose, you're not seeking meaning, even then, if someone told you that you can change someone's life, would you not just want to try it and see? Like, what is this about, really? Do I have that potential, that power? Maybe in the bargain, you discover something about yourself that you didn't know. That's what happened to me. So, no judgment here, please. This is a no judgment podcast. So, no judgment here. But I'm not really a person who goes out to volunteer or serve the community or the elderly. That's not really me. That's not part of my nature. But my husband, on the other hand, is exactly that sort of a person. So, instead of a party, that guy used to spend his birthdays at assisted living facilities taking care of the elderly the entire day. He would go plant trees. He would find organizations and charities to contribute to. He even volunteered with the government here in Singapore to be a nighttime patrolling officer. So after 12 hours of work, that guy would spend time patrolling the streets. I mean, he's very giving in nature. And I can see the way he's satisfied in life. I can see that this part of his nature is amazing. Like, he just feels a higher sense of purpose in living. And you can just tell, but even if you meet him ever, you can just tell. But he's married to me. And I'm the exact opposite. I've hardly ever volunteered. Maybe I had done one volunteering activity in my life, and it just didn't come from within me. Some people are made like that, and I wasn't. Until a few years ago, when a friend of mine, she introduced me to the director of an NGO, a not-for-profit organization. It wasn't really a charity. It was actually a group of women. They had come together to start an NGO to help other women who owned small, home-based businesses, mostly food businesses. These women, they came from low-income groups. They had large families sometimes, like 5 to 8 children. I mean, really large families. And sometimes they even had to, take on 2 to 3 day jobs. So these women at the NGO, they would mentor these other women who own the businesses on how to run their business, covering every single aspect from setting up a business to the systems they needed, maybe packaging food, food quality, the legal part, doing the paperwork, marketing, and managing finances. So literally like how to set up a business and to, flourish. That's what they assisted them and they mentored them at absolutely no cost because it was a not-for-profit organization. It was just from the place of helping these women build their businesses. So imagine a 45-year-old, not so well educated, decides to start a cake baking business from her kitchen to make a few extra dollars to pay rent and to pay her child's school fees. Then a group of women, they come together to teach her everything about growing and scaling her business so that one day she can quit her day job and do this full time, making more money than she ever did without charging her a single cent. Like, can you even imagine how her life would change? How she would be empowered, right? That's what this organization was. And when I was introduced to them, I was told that They needed help to photograph some of the products that these women were making so that those photos could help them make more sales. So these home-based businesses, I was helping to shoot their food products so that they could make better sales. So I said, okay, let's do this. I mean, what's the harm? And I did a photo shoot for them on a volunteer basis. I shot a product catalog for them. And the photos, the photos made such a huge difference that from there on, I became their volunteer photographer. So I would shoot their catalogs. I actually even did photography tutorials to teach these women how to take their own photos. I went up to their homes on weekends and I taught them how to use the props that they had on hand, how to use the light that comes in from that small kitchen window, and to start really photographing their own products. Every time I heard that the sales went up because of the photos, or these women, they reached out to me saying how strongly they felt after learning like this aspect of marketing their photos, or when I heard that someone had taken the business over full time, or when I heard that, and now I'm receiving corporate orders. I mean, their life had changed, right? Their life had changed because of this contribution that I made. And so can you even imagine my happiness? Can you just imagine it? I never knew I had that capacity to serve someone in a way that would fulfill their dreams and it could change their lives. I had no idea I had that capacity. This really was a part of me that I didn't even know I had. I had no idea that this happiness that I would feel, it would be so different from anything else. I had no idea that this small engagement, it would give me such a higher purpose. It actually gave me that higher purpose that I was looking for when I moved from architecture to photography. I was creating spaces as an architect that would alleviate the pain of the unwell, of sick people. And as a food photographer, I was creating photos and sharing knowledge that would alleviate the pain of not making enough money and the suffering of the less privileged. Come on now. Whenever my own love for food photography has gone up and down and it's been shaky, this involvement with the organization has helped to center me. It has told me that, what I do is not only for a business, but it is life-changing. It's a life-changing medium for many, many women out there. I'm not just doing this for myself, but also for all those other women out there. This volunteering activity has helped me find a deep foundation in food photography. It has been that reinforcement to my love for this field. It has scooped me out, like literally, it has scooped me out of doubtful situations. It has given me the security, that little secret that we all have inside us, that we are just food photographers. Yeah, it has given me that security to share with the world that food photography is serious. It's not small, and it has a place to make a difference in people's lives. Here's a big truth that I want to let you know. And I'm saying this after being in this creative journey for a few years now. I've realized that as we move forward in our business, in our creative journey, we will need very, very strong reasons to stay here. Everything around us will make us want to give up. It will fill our head with doubts. It will make us feel like, this is not for us. We are not good enough. But when this deeper meaning and higher purpose comes together, it will remind us that this creative life is bigger than us ourselves. It will make our sacrifices worthwhile. It will make our decision making stronger and also our ability to navigate tough times much more easily. So as we begin the new year, it's a great time. I feel this is probably the best time and opportunity to attach yourself to an initiative, attach yourself to an activity, an organization, a charity, a person. It can be anything. Commit yourself to something where your skills can help someone else. And that help is towards the betterment of their lives. You receive nothing in return except their blessings, their goodwill, and a lifetime of happiness. It doesn't have to be complicated and something, really big and just this whole gigantic burden on your head. I actually don't spend a lot of time in this volunteering activity. It's just a few days in a year. But my involvement is throughout the year on a very small basis. All right. It's not burdensome. It works around my schedule and I can contribute as and when I can manage. It's flexible and yet it is highly, highly rewarding. So I've discovered something about myself through this process. It's been such a huge revelation to me. I feel like I'm a more confident photographer. I really find myself to be more confident. I think I can stand my ground better. And the way I feel within myself, it's something I can't even express. It's life changing for others. That little contribution of mine is life changing for others, but also for me. Also for me, right? So, this particular involvement or initiation or helping someone else may or may not grow your business. It will not, in all probability, actually not grow your business. It will not make you money. But I swear to God, it will give you more happiness, joy, confidence, security, and that feeling of purpose than you have ever or you could ever imagine. So even if it's not your nature, it's not your inherent personality like it wasn't mine, give it a try. Give it a try. What's there to lose, right? You might discover something so unique and precious about yourself. You might surprise yourself. So, my friend, I hope this is a good beginning. This is a good way to start the new year, a continuation of the benevolence and selflessness and the thanksgiving that we celebrate at the end of each year. Let's just continue to do it, even as we start the new year and throughout the year. All right. If you have any questions on how to volunteer, where to look, how to be able to help someone, any ideas that you're struggling or you have something and you're like, I would really love to do this, but I just don't know how to. And what could I do? Where could I contribute? How do you think I can help someone? What could be something small that I do that really makes a difference in the world? Please email me at hello@myfoodlens.com or come DM me on Instagram at Dyutama_myfoodlens. And my friend, boss, we will chat together and we will figure out a way because it's been life-changing for me. And I would love for you to discover the joy as well. All right. So here's happy 2024 and here's to a wonderful year ahead. I'll see you next week with another episode. Until then, bye-bye.